You did everything right. You worked hard, you saved diligently, you put your faith in the system, you contributed a portion of every single paycheck to your 401k, trusting that it would be there for you when you retired. It was your nest egg, your piece of the American dream, the reward for a lifetime of labor. But what if I told you that your 401k is not what you think it is? What if I told you that it's not really your money? What if I told you that right now, as you watch this, your retirement account is being systematically emptied to pay for the government's reckless spending? This isn't a future prediction. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is a mathematical certainty hidden in plain sight within the US Treasury's own data. They have found a way to use your retirement savings as their own personal piggy bank. And I'm about to show you the proof. The system you trusted is betraying you. And by the time you realize it, it will be too late. To understand this heist, you need to understand what your 401k actually is. When you contribute money, you're not putting it in a vault with your name on it. You are buying financial products, typically mutual funds. And what do those mutual funds overwhelmingly invest in? The US stock market and, crucially, US Treasury bonds. For decades, this was considered the safest investment strategy in the world. US government bonds were risk-free. The full faith and credit of the United States government was unquestionable. But what happens when that government is functionally bankrupt? What happens when its debt spirals to over $34 trillion, a number so large it can never be paid back? The entire system becomes a Ponzi scheme, and you, the 401k holder, are the unwitting source of funding for it. Here is the proof. It's a mechanism called stealth monetization, and it works in two devastating phases. Phase 1. Forced buying. The US government needs to borrow trillions of dollars every single year just to keep the lights on. They do this by issuing treasury bonds. But as we've discussed, foreign buyers like China are dumping these bonds, not buying them. So who is left to buy this mountain of debt? You are. Your 401k plan, by its very design, is a captive buyer of government debt. Most target date funds, the default option for millions of Americans, are legally required to hold a significant portion of their assets in US bonds. You don't have a choice. Your retirement contributions are automatically funneled into the very financial instruments that the rest of the world is fleeing. You are being forced to lend money to a government that is a terrible credit risk. You are being forced to catch the falling knife. This keeps the bond market from collapsing and allows the government to continue its reckless spending. They have turned your retirement account into a slush fund for their own profligacy. The demand for their debt is no longer organic. It is manufactured using your money without your consent. But that's only the first part of the heist. The second phase is where they truly empty your account. Phase 2. Inflationary devaluation. This is the silent, invisible theft. The government knows it can never pay back the $34 trillion it owes in real terms, so it has no intention of trying. Its only strategy is to pay it back with devalued, worthless dollars. Its only strategy is inflation. By printing trillions of new dollars, the Federal Reserve erodes the purchasing power of the currency. This is a deliberate policy. It is a way of defaulting on the national debt without officially defaulting. They are paying back their loans, but with money that is worth a fraction of what it was when they borrowed it. And who is on the other side of that trade? Who is holding the bonds that are being paid back with worthless dollars? You are, your 401k. The bonds in your retirement account may pay you a 4% or 5% interest rate. But if the real inflation rate, the hidden number we've talked about, is 11%, then you are losing 6% of your wealth every single year. Your account balance may be going up in nominal terms, but your purchasing power, your ability to buy real goods and services in retirement, is being systematically destroyed. Think about it. The government borrows $1 from your 401k today. They spend it. 10 years from now, they pay you back that dollar, plus some interest. But in those 10 years, they have deliberately engineered a policy of inflation that has cut the value of that dollar in half. They have effectively stolen 50% of your investment, and they have done it legally. This is the proof. Look at the Treasury's own data. The total amount of US debt held in domestic retirement and mutual funds has exploded in the last decade, at the exact same time that foreign holdings have declined. And during that same period, the purchasing power of the dollar has fallen off a cliff. This is not a coincidence. It is a direct cause and effect. It is a wealth transfer. From you, the saver, to the government, the debtor. Your 401k is not a retirement plan. It is a government financing vehicle. It has been co-opted to serve a new purpose, to absorb the national debt that no one else will buy, and to have its value inflated away to make that debt manageable. They are not just taking your contributions, they are emptying the value of your entire account, slowly, silently, year after year. The promise they made to you, that if you worked hard and saved, you would have a secure retirement, was a lie. The system is not designed to make you wealthy. It is designed to keep the government solvent, and it is doing it at your expense. Let's delve deeper into the mechanics of this silent theft. The beauty of the 401k system, from the government's perspective, is its automated, passive nature. Millions of Americans are enrolled in these plans by default. The money is taken from their paycheck before they even see it. The investment decisions are made for them by fund managers whose primary fiduciary duty is not to maximize your real return, but to follow a predetermined, legally mandated formula that guarantees a steady flow of capital into the U.S. Treasury market. This is a form of financial conscription. You are being drafted into a war to save the U.S. bond market, and you were not given a choice. The traditional buyers of U.S. debt, foreign central banks, sovereign wealth funds, international investors, are all running for the exits. They see the writing on the wall. They know that the U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. So the government had to find a new, permanent and price-insensitive buyer, and they found one in the captive savings of the American middle class. The numbers are staggering. There is over $7 trillion held in 401k plans in the United States. A significant and growing portion of that is being allocated to U.S. government bonds. This is not a free market at work. This is a closed-loop system, a circular financing scheme where your savings are used to fund the government's deficits, which in turn are fueled by the very policies that are devaluing your savings. It is a perfect, self-perpetuating machine of wealth destruction. And the financial industry is complicit in this scheme. The large asset managers who run your 401k plans, the Vanguards, the Fidelities, the BlackRocks, are not your friends. They are government contractors. They make billions in fees by managing this system of forced capital allocation. Their business model depends on maintaining the status quo. They will never tell you that you are being systematically fleeced. They will never advise you to opt out of the system and take control of your own money. To do so would be to kill the golden goose. This is the great betrayal. The 401k was sold to the American people as a tool of empowerment, a way to take control of your own retirement. It was a replacement for the old system of defined benefit pensions, which were seen as paternalistic and outdated, but it was a bait and switch. The 401k is not a tool of empowerment, it is a tool of entrapment. It has turned a generation of savers into the lenders of last resort to a bankrupt government. It has tied your financial future to the fate of a currency that is destined to fail. So, what is the solution? The first step is to understand the game, to recognize that your 401k is not a safe harbor, but a sinking ship. The second step is to take back control. To the extent that your plan allows, you must reallocate your assets away from U.S. bonds and into things that cannot be devalued by government inflation. Real assets, commodities, gold, silver, assets that are outside the system, assets that are not someone else's liability. But for most people, the options within their 401k are limited. The real solution is to opt out, to stop contributing to a system that is designed to steal from you, to take the penalty, pay the taxes, and move your money into a self-directed IRA where you have true control, where you can buy real, physical gold and silver, where you can be your own central bank. This is not financial advice, this is a warning that the system you have been told to trust is actively working against you. A warning that your retirement is being sacrificed to pay for the mistakes of a profligate government. The proof is in the numbers. The proof is in the relentless decline of your purchasing power. The proof is in the fact that the American dream of a secure and prosperous retirement is now, for most people, a mathematical impossibility. Your 401k is being emptied. The only question is whether you will wake up and stop them before it is too late. This is the silent, brutal truth of the modern financial system. It is no longer a system for building wealth, it is a system for harvesting it. It is a system that has been weaponized by a desperate government to fund its own survival. And your 401k is the primary target. They are not just stealing your future, they are stealing your past. Every hour you worked, every sacrifice you made, every dollar you saved, it is all being devalued day by day by the very system that was supposed to protect it. This is not an accident, it is a policy, and it is a betrayal of the highest order. This is the fundamental, inescapable conflict at the heart of the modern financial system. The government's need to finance its ever-expanding debt is directly at odds with your need to preserve the purchasing power of your savings. And in that conflict, you are the designated loser. The system is designed to ensure that the government always gets paid, and it gets paid by devaluing the currency in which your savings are denominated. Think of it as a hidden tax, a tax on your past labor, a tax on your future security. It is a tax that is never voted on, never debated, and never acknowledged. But it is the most insidious tax of all because it is a tax on the very act of saving. It punishes prudence and rewards profligacy. It is a system that is morally and mathematically bankrupt. The great irony is that the 401k was sold to the American people as a vehicle for financial independence. It was supposed to be the key to a self-reliant retirement, free from the uncertainties of Social Security and corporate pensions. But it has become the exact opposite. It has become a tool of financial repression, a mechanism for trapping the savings of the middle class in a system that is designed to confiscate their wealth. It is a gilded cage, and the door is about to be locked. The only way out is to refuse to play the game. To understand that the promise of a secure retirement within the mainstream financial system is a lie, to take control of your own financial destiny, to move your wealth outside of the system that is designed to destroy it, to buy real tangible assets that cannot be printed, devalued, or confiscated, to buy gold, to buy silver, to become your own central bank, because the one they have is not working for you. It is working against you, and it is emptying your account one inflated dollar at a time,